Cleveland Browns won the toss. They have deferred to the second half, so the Raiders will receive to start the game. Phil Dawson, who began his NFL career here in Oakland, originally signed as a free agent by the Raiders out of the University of Texas, released by Oakland in favor of Greg Davis, went on to great success in Cleveland, and of course 2 years later, the Raiders took Sebastian Janikowski. We are underway here in Oakland. Corey Francis, 3 yards deep in the end zone. And stopped short of the 15-yard line. Carson Palmer coming off a tough game last week. In his return to Cincinnati, he had a streak of 3 straight 300-yard passing games broken, sacked 4 times last week, knocked down 13 times, ended up 19 of 34 for 146 yards, a touchdown, and an interception.
Yeah, you see there Dennis Allen. We spoke to him and Carson Palmer, and all the Raiders organization know they've got to get off to a much faster start than they did a week ago. They came out absolutely flat versus Cincinnati. They want to get off to a better start today.
180. From the 14-yard line, 1st and 10. Marcel Reese picking his way close to the 20. D'Qwell Jackson made the stop. Valdir has been steady at left tackle. The Raiders like his consistency. Backs and receivers. Darren McFadden is out now for a 4th straight week. So Marcel Reese, who you just saw, gets the start. He has been a diamond in the rough for the Raiders, sliding over from fullback. After the pickup of 4, 2nd and 6. Opening possession of the ball game. 180. Reese, the deep back. Play action. Palmer, lots of time. Drops it in there beautifully to Brandon Myers, the tight end.
This is play action, and it's a called throwback. Palmer rolls out to the right of the offense, and you hardly ever see a design throw to the other side of the field. Great job by Myers getting lost as T.J. Ward tries to find him. You see Palmer runs to the other side of the field and then throws it back. That is a double misdirection.
Gain of 21 from the 39. Reese gets the corner and out of bounds. A nice pickup on 1st down. The Cleveland defense is coming off a huge game last week. Phil Taylor and Atapa Rubin back and healthy, among the most disruptive inside tandems in the league. D'Qwell Jackson was the AFC Defensive Player of the Week for his terrific performance in the win against the Steelers. And in the secondary, Joe Hayden, one of the best in the league at cornerback. The Browns are 3-3 with him this season, 0-5 when he's been out. Jeremy Stewart has checked in at running back for the Raiders. Opening drive, close to midfield. They keep it on the ground. Stewart trying to fight his way for a 1st down. It will all depend on the spot. Sheard made the stop.
Yeah, they're going to spot him behind where he is there. They called his momentum short of the 1st down. And this early going, the Raiders in that misdirection pass and then in these run plays trying to get the edge on that front 7 of Cleveland that has played so well since those defensive tackles, Taylor and Rubin, have gotten healthy.
And they're going to measure.
Inches short, not even. Wow. This Cleveland Browns team resurging the last few weeks, as we said, keyed by this defense, coordinated by Dick Duran.
Pat Shurmur, his 2nd year leading the Browns, hoping Cleveland can snap a long road losing streak today and build on that big win over Pittsburgh last week.
A road losing streak that began here in Oakland
a year ago. 12 straight losses on the road for the Browns. 3rd and inches for Oakland. Quarterback sneak. Palmer tried to draw them off with the out-of-rhythm snap count. That didn't fool anybody, but he was able to make the 1st down on the quarterback sneak.
Well, as we said earlier in this drive, the Raiders doing all they can. Even in practice this week, Palmer said they're focused on getting a quick start, coming out with more emotion than they did or have in the past weeks. And it's been really a telling sign of their team that As you see Greg Knapp, the offensive coordinator, they've come out so slow, they've spent the entire game trying to come back from deficits.
Ball just into Cleveland territory. Again, the bootleg, and all kinds of time for Palmer. Finally has to get rid of it to Kreiner, the rookie. And he's out of bounds at the 41, pushed out by Joe Hayden, a gain of 8. Let's show you the conditions earlier. We just had torrential rains overnight. And when the players came out to warm up this morning, still plenty of water everywhere, but now blue skies above. And the forecast is for pretty good weather the rest of the day.
Yeah, the field was covered, but it's still very soggy.
Reese on second down. Stopped about a yard short of a first down, right near the 40. 20th regular season meeting between these two teams. The Raiders lead the overall series 11-8, but the Browns have won 4 of the last 6. Going back to October of 2003. Their most recent meeting was last year here in Oakland. First game after the passing of Raiders owner Al Davis, and Oakland won 24-17. Raiders facing another 3rd and short.
180.
Stewart. Great penetration by the Cleveland front, led by Frosty Rucker.
And you can see Stewart slow getting up, and we said the field is soggy, and while the ball handling won't be an issue because the weather is clear, because of the recent rains, the footing is the question, and that's going to be the adjustment that the running backs and defenders are going to have to make on that play. Until Stewart didn't have his full footing and got up gingerly after misstepping in the mud.
Josh Cribbs standing back inside the 10-yard line, waiting the Shane Leckler punt, end over end. And it takes a Browns bounce down at about the 14-yard line, just a 29-yard punt. Brandon Whedon brings the Browns out on offense. 29-year-old rookie is back, cleared to play after the concussion last week. He has been streaky, very good at times, but turnovers have been an issue. 12 touchdowns, 13 interceptions for Whedon, who Pat Shurmur told us has a couple of plays every game he'd like to have back, but then he can come in and make a great throw that shows you how good he can be.
And his resilience has been really impressive.
Opening possession for the Cleveland Browns after the Oakland punt from the shotgun on first down. Whedon takes off. Browns very good up front, led by Big Joe Thomas, who's been to the Pro Bowl every year he's been in the league at left tackle. Browns moved up to get Trent Richardson, 3rd overall. He's been banged up, but out there today, 85 yards and the go-ahead touchdown last week in that tough physical win against Pittsburgh. 2nd and 3, Richardson has a first down. Out to the 25. Branch made the stop. Raider defense has continued to struggle during this 4-game losing streak. Desmond Bryant starting for Richard Seymour up front at linebacker. The former #1 pick, Rolando McClain, suspended for 2 games. So Omar Gaither, just signed by the Raiders 3 weeks ago, gets the start in the middle. And in the secondary, Bartell and Huff are the corners. Tyvon Branch came back last week after the neck injury. Very active at strong safety. The slant, another first down, caught by Josh Gordon. Ron Bartell made the stop, and let's check in with JB and Boomer in New York for an update.
The boys' rookie, Andrew Luck. 4 seconds left, 4th and 10 on the Lions' 14. Final play of the game, 14 yards. Andrew Luck to Donnie Avery. Colts go on to win 35-33. Andrew Luck, one cool customer. First overall #1 pick to win 8 games as a QB. Bill and Steve.
All right, guys, thank you. Wow, Andrew Luck continuing his outstanding play. Richardson picks his way out close to midfield to the 48. Branch made the stop after a gain of 9.
You can't say enough about that guy.
2nd and 1 for the Browns, their opening possession. After the Raiders marched it down and had to punt, Montario Hardesty checks in, and he gets the carry. And a big gain. Hardesty up the sidelines and out of bounds. Pushed out by Tyvon Branch after a big gain. 19 yards on the run.
Well, this is just a sweep, and you'll see as they get the corner of this. Watch as the guard, left guard, that's Greco's going to pull out in front, gets the block on the corner, and this has been the problem for the Raiders. They played pretty good defense, and then every so often they blow an assignment. There they give up the edge of the defense and give up the long run. They've got to get over that if they want to play better and win games.
They have been susceptible to big plays. So on 1st down, Whedon with time, incomplete, trying to hit his tight end, Ben Watson.
That's one of the things that Whedon, and he himself told us he's got to get better at. This is a gimme throw. As Watson comes out, he turns. That's a lot of separation, and he just misses him high and away. It's an easy throw. He was not under pressure. Sometimes a young quarterback feels like it's so open, he has to hurry to get it there to give his guy a chance to make a bigger play and really just complete the pass.
2nd and 10. Whedon has to step up and intercepted. Matt Giordano with the interception and return past the 25-yard line. John Greco made the stop. The pass was intended for Ben Watson once again. Too high, and the Raiders have a turnover.
Yeah, 2 times in a row, Whedon made a high throw. This one was over the middle, too high, and it ended up in the interception.
The Oakland Raiders with a turnover. And they have it at their own 27-yard line.
Trying to fit the football in once again to Ben Watson, and it's overthrown. Giordano just playing center field. It couldn't have been an easier play. Just comes across, picks it off, and takes it the other way. Bad throw by Whedon here in the early going.
So Carson Palmer and the Raider offense takes the field. Tipped at the line of scrimmage and incomplete.
That was tipped, I believe, by Frosty Rucker right at the line of scrimmage. Defensive end coming up the field.
Let's take another look.
Yeah, didn't get any penetration, so he dropped off and tried to get in the throwing lane and made the play.
Carson Palmer has played very well here at home, averaging 306 yards a game here in Oakland. 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Reese driven back. Forward progress gets him out across the 30. DeQuell Jackson, coming off a huge game last week in the win over Pittsburgh, made the stop.
It's a great job as the Marcel Reese takes it off the left side and cuts it hard back to the other. The Browns rally, and there TJ Ward is exactly where the safety is supposed to be. Now DeQuell Jackson was there, but TJ Ward stepped up on the offside for the cutback, and that's the guy who made the play.
So 3rd and 6. 2nd possession for the Raiders after the interception. Palmer slings it out for a 1st down. Myers, talented young tight end, came in leading the Raiders with 55 catches for 591 yards and 3 touchdowns. Eric Hagg, the free safety, made the stop.
And Myers has done a great job on and off the field of creating a relationship with Palmer, where Palmer trusts him. You don't catch as many balls as Myers has without having something extra in your pocket with the quarterback. Palmer obviously trusts him, and Myers is having the best season of his career.
1st and 10. Reese, running room left side and a 1st down, out of bounds. Right at midfield.
Well, the Raiders caught the Browns in a shift, and Marcel Reese bounces it to the outside. The Browns shift inside right at the last minute before the snap. Juqua Parker comes inside and gets hooked. It leaves them outflanked on the outside. They had a game running, and they shifted too quickly before the snap. And you see there, before these last since week 11. He had no stats, and now he's carrying the load offensively for the Raiders.
5 carries, 29 yards for Reese. Palmer will throw. Incomplete. Denarius Moore was the intended receiver. Came in leading the Raiders with 604 yards on 36 catches with 6 touchdowns. Buster Skrine had very good coverage.
What a great break on the ball by Skrine. You can't defend it better than that unless you catch it and go the other way. Skrine broke on the football perfectly. He did not retreat. He didn't believe he was going to go past him. He squatted on the route and broke on it perfectly. What a great defensive play to knock that away.
In his second year out of Chattanooga, and he has really come on for Cleveland. The delay, Reese avoids 1 tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and no more.
Yeah, Buster Skrine made that play as well. You just saw him in the defensive secondary knocking a pass away, and as soon as he sees the handoff, he leaps into the run game from the secondary. Watch as Reese has to avoid him, and it takes so much energy and momentum that the rest of the defense rallies and makes the play. Gibson making the tackle along with Jackson, but once again, Buster Skrine forcing Reese so far wide, he makes the play.
Raiders took the opening kickoff, drove to the Browns 40 on their first possession, but failed in 3rd and 1. Now facing 3rd and 10. Palmer trying to go underneath to Kreiner, incomplete, and the Raiders will have to punt once again.
And this is an inaccurate throw by Palmer. He kind of flicks it off 2 feet instead of stepping into the throw, and that's inaccurate. You see Beldier, his left tackle, he kind of had to avoid him on the delivery, and that hence the inaccurate throw.
They're able to field the snap end over end, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. Browns will have it at the 20 when we come back. No score here in Oakland. Back in Oakland, the Raiders trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. The Browns are 3-3 over their last 6 games, but trying to win on the road for the first time in 13 games. Their second possession from their own 20. Richardson picks up 1.
They've given him the football an awful lot, and so many times when a young player comes into the league, even if he is a high draft pick, the club really has to find a way to use him and find out what he's good at. Not so with the Browns. They give this guy the ball. I got to applaud him for that. If you get a guy like this, just give him the ball, and they fed him the football through the air and the ground, and I think it's worked out in the way that it should have.
3rd pick overall. Whedon checks it down. Watson, the tight end, who is flashing across the middle of the field, and he's right at the sticks.
Yeah, I say that it's worked out the way it should have. Obviously, the wins haven't been there, but that's exactly what you want out of a high draft pick. You've got to have a guy that's a workhorse, a starter, a guy that's an impact player, and certainly, particularly with the fact that Whedon there is a rookie quarterback, he's been as productive as a veteran workhorse on this team. Now, there's no question he still has some things to get better at, and I think when he doesn't have the football, he could play a little better in pass protection and some of the other things that he does as a running back. But, man, I'll tell you what, when they hand it to him or get the ball in his hands, he's been everything they hoped he would be when they drafted him.
Leading the Browns with 41 catches for 316 yards and a touchdown, in addition to 755 yards rushing. Gordon. Out to the 34, Tyvon Branch again made the stop, the Raiders' leading tackler. He had a 57-game starting streak end when he missed game 2 weeks ago with a neck injury. Came against the New Orleans Saints, but back and healthy and productive. 2nd and 5 for the Browns. No score here in Oakland. Whedon from the shotgun. Gets rid of it. Richardson still on his feet. Great second effort. He's able to survive the first wave and keep his feet. But it looks like he's going to be just short of a first down. Tommy Kelly finally brought him down.
Well, that's the thing. He's such balance. Watch, big impact there, and then a brush off. I mean, to keep your balance after an impact like that, that's the big trick. Certainly he's got the speed and power, but when you can get hit as hard as he did and keep your balance.
Quarterback sneak. Whedon able to get it. Last week against the Steelers, he suffered a concussion for hitting his head against Joe Thomas's leg late in the final quarter, but evaluated, was able to come back and practice this week, and there was really no question as to whether or not he'd be able to go today. That determined pretty early in the week. 1st and 10. Richardson, nice hole up the middle. Trent Richardson out to the 47. Branch again on the stop after a gain of 6.
Now, certainly the wins haven't been there for the Browns, but if you look at this roster and the way this season has gone, there are some pieces on this roster to be very excited about, not the least of which is number 33, Richardson. He's been a workhorse. They've got an offensive line that's pretty solid, and Brandon Whedon is one of those guys, even when you talk to him, he's made some mistakes, but he is committed enough to have a lot, to give this team a lot of hope.
There's the toss. Richardson. Trent Richardson. The Raiders had almost everybody up on the line of scrimmage. Miles Burris, the Will linebacker, finally made the stop.
Watch, look at the Raiders right here, all at the line of scrimmage. One deep safety all the way out of the picture, and the Browns still get a productive run out of Trent Richardson. Wow, to run against a 9-man front, you're getting it done.
First down for the Browns. In Oakland territory. Short drop for Whedon, looking left. Ball is batted down, incomplete. Christo Bilokiti, the rookie out of Georgia State, got a hand on it.
And Bilokiti's been playing better and better for the Raiders with Seymour out of the lineup. Bilokiti's been getting more and more time, and there you see him batting it away.
Young man born in Angola. His father was a diplomat. He's lived in France, Brazil, and Canada. Played football only a year in Canada in high school before playing at junior college in Arizona, then Georgia State, and now here he is in the National Football League. 2nd and 10. Whedon. Watson. And finally knocked out of bounds. Matt Giordano pushed him out of bounds after a big gain for Cleveland.
Now, we spoke to Whedon yesterday, and he said, these are the kind of passes I got to do better on. When you get a guy running open, particularly the short ones like here to Ben Watson, I got to be 100% with those. On this one, he hits it, and it turns into a nice run.
So that's the end of the first quarter. No score. We'll return to Oakland after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. Back in Oakland, ready to start the second quarter with the Cleveland Browns on the move. 1st and 10. Richardson. Nice bit of running down to the 22.
A moment ago, before we went to break, Matt Giordano, the starting free safety for the Raiders. And this tackle, right, you see as Ben Watson goes up to try and leap over him, he knees him right there. And Giordano had to leave the game. He has walked down the tunnel under his own power. I don't think there's any question as to what happened that caused that injury. Now, what it is, we don't know.
So Mike Mitchell will come in at free safety. Remember, they're already thin in the secondary. They have Michael Huff, a safety, playing cornerback. Richardson. Forward progress close to the 20. Lamar Houston led the charge. Houston, the AFC Defensive Player of the Week in Week 7 when he made some big plays in overtime to give the Raiders a win over Jacksonville.
As you say, it's the next man up. You're in the middle of a game. You don't have time to think about it. You just got to go in, make the calls and play, and keep your antenna up, because if the Browns feel they can, they'll take advantage of a player who's a backup and get a matchup.
3rd and 3. Out in the flat, Richardson. Great defensive play from the Raiders. And that did not fool them.
Lamar Houston tackles Trent Richardson with one arm right in front, right there. It's on the end of the line of scrimmage and rallies and comes out and makes it with one hand. What a great tackle. Not too many guys all season have been able to do that to Trent Richardson. Lamar Houston gets it done. That was a big, big play.
Phil Dawson has made 27 straight field goals going back to last year. 21 of 21 this season. This from 41 yards out. And he's got it. So the Cleveland Browns are on the board here early in the second quarter on the Phil Dawson field goal. On November 13th, the Raiders visited Ascent School here in Oakland. They led fitness activities and spoke to the students about the importance of good health as part of the NFL's Play 60 program, which encourages kids to get 60 minutes of exercise every day. Back in Oakland, the Phil Dawson field goal. The Browns ready to kick it away. Corey Francis back deep. He was originally drafted by the Browns in 2009 in the 6th round. In fact, appeared in 8 games over 2 seasons with Cleveland. Short kick, fielded at the 9. Francis spun down at the 25-yard line. So Carson Palmer and company ready to go to work, trailing 3-0. Raiders take over, 1st and 10 from their 25-yard line. The Browns are 3-8, but they've been in almost every game this season. Of those 8 losses, 5 of them came by 7 points or less.
180! What's that?
On the board first, Palmer will throw. Scrambles out, that's caught. Myers, but dropped immediately by DeQuell Jackson. Jackson rewarded with a big new contract in the offseason after a year when he was healthy, really for the first time in his career. Offensive coordinators will tell you that he's the guy you have to find and block. Otherwise, he'll make every play.
Yeah, that's the guy that also his teammates will tell you he makes it go. He's the heartbeat of the defense, and he is the unquestioned leader on that side of the football.
2nd and 10. Palmer goes back the other way to Kleiner. Ball came loose, but Kleiner able to bring it back. Mayava made the stop, the weak side linebacker for the Browns out of USC.
You can quickly see that the Raiders are all of a sudden, after that last pressure that came on Carson Palmer, the Raiders are getting rid of the ball quick. They gave up 4 sacks last week. 2 of those sacks came on their opening drive of the game, and we talked about the slow start they got off to. A little better today, even though it hasn't translated into points, but still, Carson Palmer has to be protected to be effective. He's not a quarterback that can make plays out of the pocket.
3rd and 3. They were held to just 218 yards last week and have now lost 3 straight games by 21 points. And incomplete. Kleiner was running the slant, and the Raiders, hearing about it from their fans here in Oakland, they're going to have to punt again.
Well, he was trying to hit Kleiner on the quick slant right in this area, and he'll just throw it over the top. Got to get it down his body. Couldn't get up to. That was just a bad throw. I mean, that had no chance of being completed.
Always dangerous. Josh Cribbs standing back at his own 18-yard line. Leckler with a big punt. Markers down. Cribbs out to the 25. Mike Mitchell made the stop. That was a 51-yard punt, and if it stands, a 9-yard return.
This is going to be on the gunner on the punt team or the defender on the gunner. They were in a hand fight all the way down the field.
Bill Levy is our referee today.
During the kick, personal foul, face mask. Number 31 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down, timeout.
And so they'll move the Browns forward. They'll have decent field position. 11-14 left in the half. First down for Cleveland. Whedon hit as he released the football, but Greg Little with the catch. And a nice second effort into Oakland territory, down to the 44. Tyvon Branch with the stop after a gain of 18.
Straight drop back, has plenty of time, releases it, doesn't feel the rush from behind him. And this is an accurate throw right on the button. As Little catches it away from the defender and has just enough time to plant that foot and spin out and make a little something happen.
Brown's leading receiver is a rookie last year, but had some issues with hanging on to the football, wasn't as consistent as they wanted him to be. Big catch there. First down for Cleveland. Whedon with time, going deep. Touchdown, Josh Gordon. A perfect throw from Brandon Whedon. Rookie to rookie.
Man-to-man coverage on Ron Bartell, and he beat him. The top of your screen takes an outside release, gets separation, and just outruns Bartell to the flag. And that's as easy a long touchdown as you'll get. 44 yards, and no doubt about it. Great throw by Whedon, great protection. The Browns did everything right on that play.
Big plays have haunted the Raiders all season long. Phil Dawson with the extra point. 10:25 left to play in the half. 10-0 Cleveland. Josh Gordon with the touchdown. Josh Gordon taken in the second round of this year's supplemental draft. Caught passes from RG3 at Baylor. And a big one there from Brandon Whedon. 44 yards. 10-0 Browns. Francis brings it out. And a nice return to Corey Francis. But a big play from the Browns. And they lead at 10-0. The Raiders have given up 169 points over the last 4 weeks. Most points surrendered in a 4-game stretch in franchise history. Palmer will throw, trying to get a big play right back. Incomplete. Denarius Moore could not bring it in.
Sheldon Brown knocked that away at the last moment, had good coverage. It looked like Moore had it, but Sheldon Brown stuck with him, turned his hips, opened up, kept his eyes up, looked and played the ball just perfectly. And you see there, 2 swipes of his hands before Moore could really squeeze it and pull it in. Great defense and a pretty good throw by Palmer, but man, Sheldon Brown all over it.
What's that? Reese. Another nice run. Out close to the 35-yard line. Ataba Rubin made the stop. Browns defense has really been hitting on all cylinders the last couple of weeks. 7 sacks in Week 11. Thanksgiving weekend at Dallas. And then 8 takeaways last week against Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
that was a stunning performance.
And it's all due to those big guys up front. They have made the difference in both ends of the defense, front and back.
Palmer with time, finally down to Stewart. He's going to hit at about the 38-yard line. Sheldon Brown.
And I'll tell you, the secondary for the Browns has picked it up. We've been saying a lot about their front, but these guys, you saw Sheldon Brown knock it away down the field. Then he comes up and puts a big hit to stop the first down. Both corners have made outstanding plays. All 3 corners, Buster Screen on the one side, Sheldon Brown both in the run and the pass. Wow, Dick Duron, defensive coordinator of the Browns, has really got these guys playing.
So we'll see the punting unit again. Leckler gives retreats from the 7. Tries to reverse his field and dives forward to the 16-yard line. A 56-yard punt by Leckler and a 9-yard return. And we have a late flag way, on the opposite
Ineligible
side
player
of the field.
downfield of the kicking team. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
And that's a big penalty. As a guy who covered a lot of kicks in this league, the worst possible scenario for the punting team is to have to punt it twice in a row. And the reason being this: it's hard to be in a really tough-handed fist fight all the way down the field for 60-yard, 100% sprint, turn around and have to do it all over again. It really leaves you susceptible to a big play. Josh Cribbs is fresh. He just ran about 5 yards after catching the ball, and he's fresh. The coverage guys are spent. And this, it doesn't always happen, but big returns happen when you have to punt the ball twice in a row.
And the penalty wipes out a 47-yard net on the punt for Leckler. So he'll stand back at his own 18-yard line. Cribbs at his own 20. And this is shorter, and he'll have a chance to return this. Falls forward at about the 35-yard line. Clayton tripped him up. Brandon Whedon and the offense for the Browns taking the field. Back in Oakland, and after the penalty and re-kick, the Browns gained 20 yards on that exchange. They'll start at their own 36 instead of their own 16-yard line. 1st and 10. Cleveland leading 10-0. Richardson stacked up at the line of scrimmage. You vote, they play. Send your favorite players to the 2013 Pro Bowl in Hawaii. Vote online or with your mobile device at NFL.com/Pro Bowl or text Pro Bowl to MyNFL. 2nd and 10 for Cleveland. Already with 172 yards of total offense here midway through the 2nd quarter. Play action, Whedon buys some time and finally throws it away. Brandon Whedon, Steve, we were talking about this, much more mobile than he appears at first. He can extend plays with his legs.
And he also has pretty good pocket awareness. Even though he'll avoid the rush, he doesn't look at the rush. He slides away from pressure. When we said earlier, as Pat Shermer told us, if you look at the coverage here, he's going to play fake and come out. Keeps his eyes off the rush, keeping his eyes down the field, giving himself a chance, asking for some help. Doesn't get it, and makes a smart play, gives himself at least a chance on 3rd down.
Now urging the Raiders on, looking for a 3 and out. Watson. And out of bounds, short of the 1st down. Couple yards shy. So we'll see the punting unit for the Cleveland Browns.
When you think about it, with a 10-point lead on the road, when you've struggled in this environment away from Cleveland, with a 10-point lead, not the worst thing in the world. Gain 9 yards, get it out to midfield and punt your opponent down deep.
First 3 and out for the Raider defense. So we'll see Reggie Hodges, who punted a career high 10 times last week against the Steelers. Phillip Adams back deep. It takes a Raider bounce. And it touched a player. Interesting to see where they down this.
This will be out where the player first touched it at about the 28. Now they're walking it all the way almost to the 30. The rule on this is it doesn't matter if he deliberately touches it or not, but if a kicking team member touches the ball at all, if it bounces against him, intentional or unintentional, the Raiders have the option of taking it right there or in a better position if the play results in a better position after that. You see there, it's Fort, the linebacker, L.J. Fort, who corralled that ball.
So it will be a 26-yard punt. The Raiders will take on over 1st and 10 from their own 30. Keep it on the ground to Stewart. Breaks free and has a 1st down out across the 40. Got a sports fan on your gift list? CBSSports.com. Shop as officially licensed NFL gear, NCAA gear, from over 500 schools and 3-day shipping on every order at shop.cbssports.com. Gain of 11 yards on the play. 1st and 10. The ball spotted just past the 40. Palmer changing the play.
Lakers. 14 safety, Lakers. 14 safety, Whitey.
Reese is out of the slot. Stewart. And another nice gain as he bursts free into Cleveland territory down close to the 45-yard line. Gibson made the stop after a gain of 14.
Well, the Browns shift their front over to the tight end here to the strength of formation, and the Raiders run back the other direction. Great job getting out on the second level by that offensive line. Cooper Carlisle getting up on the linebacker, giving Stewart the crease to get up into the secondary.
Stewart stays in the backfield, started the season in camp with the Jets. Rookie free agent out of Stanford. He gets it again, tries to reverse his field and picks up a couple. Down to the 44-yard line.
And the Raiders really, on this drive, it looks as though they just made a decision. All right, we've had enough of this. We're going to take a few slugs at this defense and take some frustration out. Dennis Allen just handing the football off. Now they line up in shotgun. Perhaps they'll throw it.
2nd and 9. Palmer with time to the sideline. That's caught by Moore. And that will move the chains for the Raiders.
Well, I know it may not be that complicated, but man, it sure makes a difference. The Raiders pounded away with the run game, makes it so much easier on the outside for Moore to get some separation. They've been struggling out there throughout this first half, and finally when the run game goes, hey, so does the pass game.
And the Raider offense finding a little rhythm here. Palmer, incomplete. Tried to go back shoulder with a bullet to Denarius Moore and incomplete.
He's trying to come back and throw on 1st down as Moore working there against Brown on the slant. There he was open for a moment, then has to stop and pivot out. Palmer throwing it away from Mayava, who's trying to get out into the throwing lane. Moore just can't react in time. That ball had some speed on it.
Celtics, box 3.
Changing the protection. Marcel Reese comes over at the fullback spot. Palmer going deep for Moore. Incomplete. Sheldon Brown with very good coverage. Had some help from the rookie Gibson.
Yeah, this is well defended. This is a great play by Tashawn Gibson to help Sheldon Brown out. You see there, now Gibson's a little late, but both those guys over there, you give yourself a chance to defend that play with 2 guys over there. Moore can't get it. Ball's inside a little bit, but this secondary, the Cleveland Browns, really playing well today.
Under 5 minutes remaining in the half. Raiders trying to keep this drive going. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Marcel Reese, and was almost picked off by the Browns.
Well, I'll tell you, that's the respect they have for Marcel Reese. They've got Buster Screen on him. A cornerback guarding the big guy. He's very nifty in the passing game. He does all of it. He can play tight end, fullback, running back, and H-back. Going up pretty good to get that ball. Can't come down with it, but, you know, Dick Giron putting somebody who can really cover on Marcel Reese.
T.J. Ward almost had an interception. Batted right to him, so Janikowski on to try a 51-yard field goal. He had a 55-yarder last week, and this one is perfect. 24 of 25 this season for Sebastian Janikowski. His only miss came from 64 yards out against Jacksonville with time running out. The Raiders are on the board. Well, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 13. That's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. I know he'll be watching. 4:28 left to go in the half. Janikowski, after the 51-yard field goal, boots it away. Josh Cribbs watches it sail through the uprights and out of the end zone.
Nice.
Take a look at the playoff picture, really starting, Steve, to take shape now.
Yeah, those teams at the top, the division leaders.
Houston clinches today, and New England wins the AFC East.
And these teams down the bottom, these two, I'm liking Indianapolis. I mean, that's a big win up in Detroit today in the last minute. They're tough to beat.
Richardson up the middle. Moves the pile to the 25. 5-yard gain. Tommy Kelly among those to bring him down. Kelly, a Pro Bowl alternate in each of the last 2 seasons.
This Raider team, I think the absence of Richard Seymour, I think, has made a difference to that front D-line rotation. These last 4 games, and not coincidentally, are the 4 games that Seymour has been out, and he's out again today.
Change the formation. Short drop for Whedon. Drops it in there to Greg Little. And that is a first down for the Cleveland Browns.
Look at that. Last 4 games. This is the one that really crushes you. It's the points given up. I mean, the yards and of course the takeaways and giveaways set all that up. But I mean, you just don't win football games giving up 40 points every week. They might do that in the Pac-12 once in a while. Oh, look at you. Not here.
First and 10 for Cleveland. They lead at 10-3. Play action from Whedon. Josh Gordon, who is all alone. Down to the 45, a gain of 22. And Josh Gordon is having a big day.
Look at the play action as Whedon holds the ball out there and the entire defense just goes away. Brandon Whedon has nothing but clear green grass to look across to find Gordon as he comes across all alone. They completely, all the way up here, they completely forget about him as he comes all the way across. It looks like he's in the middle of an open field. Easy completion.
And the Browns on the move once again. In the Oakland 45, the toss to Richardson. Good penetration from the Raider front. Wheeler made the stop, the former Colt. Raiders' second leading tackler coming in.
And Browns continuing to just hand it to Richardson. It's great that they just keep him involved no matter what. Because, you know, as much as this offense has struggled at times, he makes a big difference.
So that'll take us down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes left in the first half. The Browns lead it 10-3. 2 minutes left in the half. The Browns with all of their timeouts remaining. They've been in Oakland territory 4 of their 5 possessions now. Movement before the snap, and they'll stop play.
And they stopped the play because there was contact by the defense.
Neutral zone infraction, number 90 defense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Desmond Bryant in a little early.
Yeah, caused the offense, one of their offensive linemen raised his arm. That caused them to move, even if there was no contact. Otherwise, they let that play go if it's on the defense and let the offense choose whether to take that play or then take the penalty.
Bryant making his 4th straight start today for Richard Seymour. Richardson, center of that defense, battles his way down to the 37-yard line. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, I think the Browns are just going to let this clock wind down. They're in 3rd and very short. They'll see if they can pick this up. If they pick this up, then we might see them take some timeouts if they want to take a shot at the end zone. If this doesn't, obviously they'll let the clock run down, and Dawson will try the field goal.
Third and 2. Whedon, short drop with time, going deep. Gordon, underthrown and intercepted. Phillip Adams, but he took a shot as he went down to the turf and was slow getting up.
And you're right, this ball was underthrown. Whedon standing in a pocket. It was collapsing around him, but he stepped in and made a pretty good delivery. You see at the top, Gordon has gotten some separation, and that ball's just underthrown. The safety, Brandon Ross, comes over late, and that's the guy who hits Adams right there. And I'll tell you what, the Raiders can ill afford to lose Phillip Adams. You might want to take a look and see if he controlled that football, but now he seems to be okay. That was a good shot, or a rough shot he took from Ross, the safety coming over.
Let's take another look, and let's see if Adams controlled the football as he went down.
It
may have come loose.
It might have come loose. They'll review this because it's a turnover, and it's automatically done. You see as Levy will go over and look at the replay for himself. And this is, the turnovers are all big plays, which is why they're automatically reviewed. Well, I don't know. Ball. Yeah, I don't know. Does hands stay underneath it? Very close. Nothing yet I've seen would overturn it. Well, there his hand seems to be underneath it. The ball could be in front of his arm, but it's so difficult to see. Now let's see what that looks like. And I think his hand is, I don't think his hand is underneath the football right there. I think that ball is on the ground. It'll be interesting to see if the official agrees with that. Now, he doesn't have the technology to magnify it like I do, but here he comes back on the field.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Interception.
Not enough evidence to overturn the call.
You can kind of see that coming. It took us forever to get any kind of look at it. We magnified it, and I'm making a judgment call myself. I think his arm was not underneath it, but that's a tough one to overturn.
And for the Raiders, that was a big turnover. They have played from behind throughout this stretch over the last month and a half, and really have had no chance to develop a good rhythm on offense. So that will keep the Browns from adding to their lead. Palmer from the goal line. Incomplete. Myers, the intended receiver.
And Carson Palmer, Myers and Palmer were not on the same page there. Palmer was looking for him to hook up right on the stem of his route. Myers kind of slid away from the defender, but as he slid, the ball was already in the air. Right here, he's going to come out, and Palmer will try and put the ball right on him, but as you'll see, he starts to slide away from Robertson, who's coming out, and Palmer tries to gun it in the same spot.
Stops the clock with 1:06 left to go in the half. 2nd and 10. Palmer. Reese. Wrapped up at the 10.
Well, as good as Reese has been.
Coming out Cleveland, they're first.
So Cleveland will take a timeout. Got a chance to get the ball back in good field position. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. Coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. 3rd and 7 for the Raiders. Backed deep in their own territory. Palmer with time. And that is caught for a first down by Moore. Kadarius Moore out to the 31. And a timeout on the field. Career long for Sebastian Janikowski, 63 yards. Would have to get it to the 45-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. 2 timeouts remaining, 51 ticks of the clock left here in the first half. Flag before the snap.
Start. Number 69 offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Khalif Barnes.
Yeah, pre-game, he kept an eye on Janikowski, there's 65 yards. Just shy of the net, but certainly a good field goal. So if you want to try a long one, this guy can make it.
Had a 55-yarder last week, a 51-yarder already today. Has just missed once all season. That was some 64 yards out. First and 15. Hayward Bay with the catch. Now to the 36-yard line. Sheldon Brown made the stop. A gain of 10.
The Raiders got to get lined up. Now they're going to try and run a play here.
Continuing to run inside of 30 seconds now. Left in the half. Palmer. Center of the field. Myers.
Can't get out of bounds. Now they'll call a timeout.
Take their second timeout with 21 seconds left in the half. Short timeout. He spotted just outside the 45-yard line. Have to get it approximately 10 more yards to be in Janikowski's range.
Just at the end.
Outer range. Palmer. Myers underneath. And another timeout is called as he's brought down just short of midfield. Eric Hagg made the stop. Carson Palmer 5 of 5. 14 seconds left in the half. Raiders out of timeouts. They're going to try to keep it near the sideline.
14 seconds. They've got to get out of bounds, stop the clock, and they need 6 yards to try the field goal.
Palmer to the sideline. Reese out of bounds at the 47.
That's about a couple of yards short. I mean, they may try. I mean, there's no reason not to try it if it's a desperation kick, no question. And they need, you know, as we said, a couple of yards to make it a 63 or now to be a 65-yard kick from here, and that would be an NFL record. And it would break an NFL record that has stood for decades.
3rd and 3. 10 seconds left in the half. Palmer again to the sideline. That makes it more manageable. Reese steps out of bounds.
And there you go. And this will be a 61-yarder, it looks like. They spot the ball 8 yards deep. And this is, you know, it's one of the handful of longest kicks in the National Football League history. Anything over 60 yards is like Haley's Comet. I mean, it just doesn't happen very often.
So here we go. 5 seconds left in the half from 61 yards out. And he pulled it. Just missed. So that's the end of the first half. We'll be back with the Verizon halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. You're listening to a Pepsi NFL anthem. Download this song and other NFL-inspired anthems at PepsiAnthems.com. As we're back in Oakland, ready to start the third quarter. The Browns lead at 10-3. Bill MACATEE along with Steve Tasker, and Steve, a very competitive first half.
Yeah, very close. In fact, really the difference was the long pass play to Josh Gordon. You know, the Raiders came up with a big turnover early on to stem the tide early for the Cleveland Browns. And I think if you look at the Cleveland Browns defensively, a 3-point half against the Raiders is right where they want to be.
All right, let's take a look at the numbers from the first 2 quarters of play.
See there, the turnovers. It's always a huge factor. This time going in favor of the Raiders. The Browns, after a turnover field day against Pittsburgh a week ago, feeling the other end of the spectrum today in that category.
Josh Gordon with a 44-yard touchdown catch from Brandon Wheaton. Only touchdown the first half, and the Browns lead at 10-3. Even won the toss, they deferred to the second half, so they'll have the football. And Josh Cribbs thought about bringing it out, but couldn't hang on to the ball. It'll be a touchback, and they'll bring it out to the 20.
Yeah, he was going to run it out. He was way deep. I mean, that can't get much longer of a return than that if he's going to take it the distance, but in the hurry to get out of there.
And we have a couple of late flags. Officiating crew talking it over. Levy, our referee.
After the touchback, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 82 of the kicking team. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And that's, I don't know how you do that. That's silly. That's a silly penalty.
Richard Gordon, the tight end, that's the 5th penalty for the Raiders. The Browns have yet to be penalized today. So they'll spot it at the 35-yard line, and that's where the Browns will start 1st and 10. Whedon, here they come with the blitz, able to get rid of it to Alex Smith. Smith, the fullback, can also line up at tight end. What the Browns did in the first half with their possessions, the early interception, then the field goal, touchdown pass to Gordon.
Yeah, they got some momentum going, no question, but the bookend interceptions by Whedon kind of takes the shine off a half that left them with a 7-point lead.
Movement.
Encroachment, number 93 defense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Tommy Kelly.
So the Raiders give the Browns 20 yards, 2 first downs in 3 plays on 2 penalties. That's not a way to start the second half.
So after the penalty, 2nd and 4 for Cleveland. Richardson with some running room, left side, a first down, and brought down near midfield. Gain of 9 for the rookie out of Alabama. Browns moved up a spot to get him. Set a single-season rushing mark at Alabama last year, 1,679 yards and 21 rushing touchdowns.
Watch the cut right here as he just kind of plants his foot and lets Burris go right by him. Burris looked like he was going to make the tackle, and Richardson just put his foot in the ground, watched him go by, and got an extra 4.
Richardson tried to bounce it to the outside. There's a flag brought down by Michael Huff.
Holden, number 82 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
First penalty of the game for the Cleveland Browns. They'll march him back. Call it on Ben Watson.
Richardson, as we talked about in the first half, I mean, they're going to give the ball to Trent Richardson. I mean, we talked to the Raider defenders, and they acknowledge it. The whole offense runs through that guy. If he's on, they're going to give it to him more, and if he's not, they're going to give it to him enough so you can't forget about him and then maybe do something else. Even when it's not working, they still have kept him involved. I think that's real discipline by a coaching staff, and so many coaches go away from it so quick, but the Browns, that guy's not getting a break this year.
He's been nursing sore ribs. Says he won't be 100% till after the season's over. Little makes the first man miss. That was a great move. And back close to midfield goes Greg Little.
We spoke to Pat Shermer, and he said, yeah, there are things that Trent Richardson can do better, and he's got some things to learn. One of the things he's got to learn, as you mentioned, he's got bad ribs, and on days like this, he has to learn to play when he doesn't feel 100% healthy. And he has continued not only to play, but to excel. And I think that is a real example for guys who are on his team. Don't believe me, teammates really appreciate guys who play every week when they're not feeling good, and teammates know it.
13th carry of the ball game into Oakland territory. Andre Carter made the stop. Some numbers for Trent Richardson coming into week 13. Most rushing attempts among rookies in the AFC. 41 receptions. Only running back to lead his team in receptions and 7 touchdowns. As we've got a man down on the field. Slow getting up, Desmond Bryant. So timeout here in Oakland, 10-3 Browns. Desmond Bryant being checked on the Oakland sideline. 3rd and 8 for Cleveland, trying to keep this drive going. Whedon. And that's caught by MACATEE, but short of the first down by about 1.5 yards. Marcelio Hansen, the nickelback, made the tackle.
Good protection as Whedon steps up, and you see once again, stands tall in the pocket. He takes a real shot. Just as he released it, MACATEE just can't get the first, and I like this going for it on 4th and 1. It's too close to punt, too far for a field goal going this direction. See what you can get.
4th down for the Browns. Whedon will throw to Richardson with some running room. And Trent Richardson upended at about the 21-yard line. And Mike Mitchell is still down.
Little scuffle after the play. You forget about it. It's nothing. But watch, Brandon Whedon is going to step up. Watch the defense react right to him, coming right up. He's going to drop back and come right forward in the pocket. Watch the defense come right to him. They forget all about Richardson. What a heads-up play by Whedon. Knowing where Richardson is, not looking at him, and then finding him after the play breaks down for the first down. Huge pick up there on 4th and short.
Mike Mitchell, Steve, made the tackle, but has stayed down on the turf.
You saw Richardson get flipped up high as Mitchell goes low. And there you see it. You know, we've seen that so much in the recent weeks. It's players going to make a tackle and catching a knee or a thigh on their helmet and having to come out of the game.
21 yards on the play, and as we mentioned earlier, the Raiders are really thin in the secondary. They already have Michael Huff playing cornerback. He's, of course, one of their starting safeties. That was necessary when the Raiders lost Shante Spencer. Ron Bartell able to come back. But Giordano went down early. And the Raiders are going to have to make some adjustments now at safety.
Yeah, you can see there. Marcelio Hansen comes in. Now he's a nickelback. Brandon Ross is in. They've got it's every man on deck right now with the Raiders secondary, and of course the Browns go 3 wide to make them bring all those guys off the bench.
Brandon Ross comes in to play safety. They run it up the gut. Richardson fights his way for some tough yards.
That's a smart move by the Browns to go spread them out, make that secondary, the Raiders, bring everybody into the game and make them spread out and put them on an island if you can do it. Of course, then they hand it off to their horse up the middle and gain some pretty good yardage on first down. But this secondary with Branch, Ross, and all those guys in there, that's not a group that plays very much together unless they're giving a practice look to the offense.
Whedon from the shotgun, showing blitz, come off the edge. Whedon gets rid of it, incomplete. He was trying to hit Greg Little.
Brandon Whedon's pass intended for his wide receiver, number 15, Greg Little.
Saw the pressure coming. Steven maybe threw it a little early.
Yeah, it's just as he lets it go, Little moves. It's exactly the same thing that happens to the Raiders. The receiver starts to adjust to slide to an open area, and the quarterback is already halfway or 3/4 or all the way through his release, and he can't change the ball flight path.
Raiders trying to come up with a stop here on 3rd down. Force the field goal try. Whedon under pressure. Hit Richardson, but Richardson would have been out of bounds anyway. So 4th and 6 for Cleveland.
Yeah, that was a throwaway by Whedon, and you go back, the 4th and short conversion sets them up and puts them in position to still convert a field goal if they can get it done right here. Everybody covered up in that secondary. Raiders doing a nice job rallying. Look at the secondary dropping back. Whedon can't find any. That's pretty good coverage for a secondary that's all nicked up today.
Dawson trying to stay perfect. He's made 28 straight field goals going back to last season. And that is just about perfect. Dawson with his second field goal. And the Browns extend their lead 13-3. Back in Oakland, 13-3 Browns. Dawson after the 35-yard field goal, the second of the game. Ready to kick it away to the ex-Brown, Boy Francis. Francis about 5 yards deep in the end zone. Fielded at the 1. That's Jeremy Stewart. He's brought down hard after the 17-yard line. Carson Palmer, who's completed his last 7 passes, takes the field for the Raiders. For the Raiders, this is the first of 3 straight home games here in Oakland. The Browns will be back home in Cleveland next week to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. First down for Oakland. Stewart, who's had some nice runs today, and out close to a first down. Good coverage of every game while on the go this holiday season with NFL Mobile. Watch every touchdown from Sunday afternoon with NFL Red Zone for $5 a month. Call ** NFL to download or go to NFL.com/mobile. 6 carries, 35 yards for Jeremy Stewart, free agent rookie out of Stanford. In camp with the Jets, then signed to the Raiders practice squad at the start of the regular season. Made his NFL debut in Week 10. Palmer to the sideline to Myers. Pushed out of bounds. Out close to the 34-yard line by DeQuell Jackson.
Last week, the Raiders really came out after halftime and played extremely well. Made some pretty good halftime adjustments. Changed a little bit defensively. Palmer and Myers, I think, got away from each other in the first half. Although Palmer was looking for more, I think he's got to keep Myers involved.
So Reese is over there in the slot. Jeremy Stewart in the backfield. The lone setback. Palmer pump fake. Finally gets rid of it, and that's caught by Darius Hayward-Bay.
That was a great double move by Hayward-Bay. Palmer called off a play at the line and killed it, waved it off, then came out. Watch Hayward-Bay. One move, and then a second move to come out of the deep out. Palmer puts it right on the money.
Did that against Joe Hayden. You don't see that very often. First down for Oakland from the Raider 42.
Danville.
See now, he's going to change in the strength of formation, and now he's going to change the play as well.
Move Myers over to the left side, and that is caught in Cleveland territory by Hayward-Bay.
And now they're going to go a little no huddle as Palmer, James Michael Johnson, lets the inside receiver go and then can't get back out to cut that pass off to the outside. Palmer knew it, called the formation change, and made the throw.
Hayward-Bay with the inside position on Joe Hayden. That's 10 straight completions for Carson Palmer. First down in Cleveland territory. They keep it on the ground. A nice run again by Stewart to the 41.
The Raiders getting a little rhythm here offensively. Keeping the running. Stewart comes in. I think he's you look at the 2 backs they've got, Stewart and Reese. Reese, a big bruiser, does a lot of things well, great skill set. Can catch, throw, block, pass protect. Stewart has a much faster burst and can really get through the line of scrimmage a little faster.
The Raiders without Darren McFadden and Mike Goodson again today for the 4th straight game. 2nd and 4. The Raiders on the move. Palmer gets rid of it, incomplete. Sheldon Brown had a nice break on the ball that seemed to sort of hang in the air. The pass intended for Denarius Moore.
Very late in the process. You watch as Moore comes out. Look at Sheldon Brown. He's keeping his eyes on Carson Palmer. He feels Moore, but he's watching Palmer. And that's how you play defense. You're in zone coverage as you keep your eyes on the quarterback in that situation, and Brown does a great job.
So that stops the streak of completions at 10 for Carson Palmer.
180.
Facing 3rd and 4. Short drop. That's caught by Myers. And another Oakland first down. This is a good-looking drive. Craig Robertson, the linebacker, made the stop.
You know, we talked to Brandon Myers. He said, man, if we can protect Carson Palmer, give him time in the pocket, he will put the ball on you. And he's proven that in this last stretch. Has yet to throw an incompletion here in the second half. Ended the first half, where he has 1 incompletion, and ended the first half with 7 completions in a row.
180.
From the 36. Incomplete. In and out of the hands of Darius Hayward-Bay, who should have had it.
Well, that's why Darius Hayward-Bay has not been everything the Raiders hoped he would be as a first-round draft pick. That is a gimme, and that's happened all too often.
First-round pick in 2009 out of Maryland. Didn't catch a pass last week. Stewart stacked up for no gain.
You see a drop pass and they kind of lose steam. All of a sudden it turns into a 3rd and 10.
John Hughes made the stop. He's another one of those talented young defensive linemen for Cleveland. Big, strong guy who can really stuff the run. Billy Wynn, another, the 6th-round pick out of Boise State, to go with Ataba Rubin and Phil Taylor.
Celtics, 3 jumbo.
So 3rd and 10. Palmer changing the play.
White 90.
Reese in the backfield. Palmer swarmed under a sack. And he had no time. That was Jaquay Parker who got in there in a hurry.
And that is a bad sack to take the up and under. Gets right by Valdir, the left tackle, the up and under, and he just gets a piece of Palmer, takes him right down. Palmer doesn't see it coming until it's too late.
4th sack of the season for Parker, veteran who came to the Browns from Philadelphia. So we'll see Leckler. And it will be downed just inside the 10-yard line. 4:47 left to go in the 3rd. Brandon Wheaton set to take the field. 1st and 10 for Cleveland. They lead at 13-3. Play action, Wheaton. Again, Josh Gordon, big gain out to the 30-yard line in front of Mike Mitchell.
Now this is just a deep in route, working once again against Bartell. Bartell goes down in the sloppy field. Good throw and catch by Wheaton and Gordon once again today.
And the latest from the Raider locker room, Matt Giordano's out with a head injury. Philip Adams with a concussion. He will not return. Mitchell, as you just saw, back on the field. Wheaton on 1st down. In stride, Massaquoi. Mohamed Massaquoi. Down to the 15. Joselio Hansen finally brought him down.
And Tyvon Branch is going to come make the tackle and got a block down the field. What a great route. Stems straight up the field, then breaks it off, catches it, going away, and bang. Greg Little makes a good block on Branch.
54 yards on the catch and run.
Excellent block down the field. This Cleveland Browns team putting it together here today in Oakland.
And this has been really the story of the season for the Oakland Raiders. Competitive, but then they give up big plays. And again, the Browns are threatening. We're back some confusion for Cleveland with personnel. They took a timeout, but all set and big plays continuing to haunt the Raiders. 6 plays of 20-plus yards today for Cleveland. Trent Richardson stopped in the backfield and knocked back.
You look back at that play, watches. Little will take it right through the middle. They'll run it right across into the vacated area, and it comes wide open. And then after Little clears it out, in the deep route. He comes back as Massaquoi turns it upfield. Little gets a block for him. Helped him on both ends of it. Cleared the area out and then blocked him to get him free down the sideline. Great job. Good teamwork by the wide receiver corps.
Terrific angle from Joselio Hansen to save the touchdown. The Browns are threatening. 2nd and 10. Caught by Travis Benjamin. Close to the 10. Michael Huff made the stop. Pickup of 6 yards.
So important down in the red area to capitalize. Browns went in there in the first drive of the game and flipped it over and turned it over. So important because the field becomes wide and shallow rather than deep. There's no end line, and there's no field behind the defense that they have to cover, so they can really pack it in there, and it closes down throwing lanes. If you can run it down here, that's the best thing to do.
3rd and 4 for Cleveland. Raiders looking to make a stand. Whedon had to get rid of it. Incomplete.
Yeah, the Raiders were bringing everybody. Whedon does a nice job just throwing this out. Look at the wave of Raiders coming through, and
that was Brandon
Ross gets through, yeah, and puts the hit on Whedon.
Phil Dawson on to try 3rd field goal of the game.
I spoke to Phil Dawson before the game. He says anything inside the 20-yard line is going to be iffy. The long ones are easier because the footing is so bad down in the end of the field. Now he missed it.
And the streak comes to an end.
Well, I got to apologize to him for bringing that up before he hit that kick.
No points for the Browns. Phil Dawson's streak comes to an end after 29 straight field goals. It may have been tipped by Desmond Bryant. We'll take another look after this play. 1st down. Palmer, incomplete. Another drop. Denarius Moore this time.
You look back at this kick for Phil Dawson. Now watch as Desmond Bryant right there got a piece of it. Right there, it goes right off his wrist and deflects wide left. Don't know that it was going to be close either way, but that ball was deflected wide of the goal.
And that ends the longest active streak in the National Football League. 29 straight going back to last season.
So I don't have to apologize. It wasn't me.
Desmond Bryant needs to apologize. 2nd down. Run it up the middle. Close to the 25. And once again, let's check in with JB and Boomer in New York for an update.
A defensive MVP candidate. How about Von Miller with a little pressure from Mitch Unrein, the defensive tackle, and Josh Freeman. Errant throw, 26-yard interception return. Bucks on top. Broncos on top of the Bucks, 28-13. Excuse me. Bill McAtee, Steve Tasker.
All right, guys. Denver trying for their first 7-game winning streak since 1998. 3rd and 5 for Oakland. They trail by 10 near the end of the 3rd quarter. Palmer. And that time a nice catch as Darius Hayward-Bay went up to get it over Sheldon Brown.
And I'll tell you, Carson Palmer shows a lot of faith in these wide receivers when he can put it as accurately as he wants, and they may not come up with it, and then he makes a throw like this on a tougher catch, and the guy comes down with it. So Hayward-Bay making up for a drop early on the earlier drive to come down with a tough catch and a good 1st down.
4 catches for 40 yards.
Round 80. Danville.
Then Palmer changing the play.
180.
Pump fake, goes back the other way. Oh, what a catch by Streeter! Rod Streeter, touchdown Raiders! And the Raiders come back with a big play of their own, 64 yards.
Well, Buster Skrine, who's had a really nice day, catches him in the slot. And Palmer just put this right over the top screen. Tries to go up and get a piece of it. He's got no shot. That ball was right over the top, high to Streeter. 6'3", catches it and walks into the end zone.
And the Raiders find the end zone for the first time today. Janikowski makes it a 3-point game with 17 seconds left to play in the third. 64 yards.
If you're a corner on the slot, you're going to need some help over the top. You'll watch, safety's way back. TJ Ward is up here. There's the safety. They got a single high safety. Up at the top of your screen, you see, comes all the way over here and gets caught out and can't get back to help. Carson Palmer pump fake over to Haywood Bay, comes back to Streeter, and the safety's out of position.
And they like this young man out of Temple, the rookie free agent Streeter. They think he has a chance to be pretty good. Carson Palmer described him as gifted.
Yeah, the Raiders did a little extra homework on Streeter and decided they were going to take a shot at him. Like I say, he was undrafted, but he is a big guy at 6'3", over 200 pounds, and really has shown some stuff to this team, getting more and more playing time, and there's an obvious reasons for it. And the guy's producing.
When we talked to Carson Palmer about Streeter, he said that the way he plays, his game awareness, you'd never know he was a rookie. Great focus there. Gives the Raiders a big play, and they're right back in it.
He also said he told impressed with Streeter's ability to learn different positions.
Cribbs, and he wants to return this from 9 yards deep. Not a good decision. Wrapped up by Keenan Clayton. Well, nobody knows the game like a quarterback. Break down all the NFL action on NFL Monday QB tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern, only on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. So the Browns are backed up, 1st and 10 from their own 9. Ontario Hardesty is checked in, giving Richardson a break. 3-step drop, batted away. That was Tommy Kelly, who's had an active game.
Yeah, the Browns are trying to shift and then put some motion. They move the tight ends to the other side, then sent one back in motion. They do that to try and confuse the defense to make sure perhaps that they leave somebody uncovered with the change in formation, change of strength. Tommy Kelly makes it all worthless as he just bats the ball into the back of the end zone.
And they're fired up here in Oakland. That big play to Streeter woke them up. 2nd and 10. Batted again. Lamar Houston.
Yeah, this is Desmond Bryant also who comes in. As this is Houston right here. He bats it right there, gets a shot on Whedon. It's Desmond Bryant who got a hand on that field goal to stop the 3 points and then brings the heat as well. Now this Raider crowd is into it, and the Raider team is emotionally invested as well. This is a big, big stop if they can get it.
Browns just 1 of 7 on 3rd down.
Whedon wants a timeout.
He wants to talk it over.
This is why it's tough to win on the road in the NFL. When you think you've got the game in hand, everything turns around.
Well, they face some of the worst criminals of all time, but tomorrow they'll take on a real stunner, a Victoria's Secret model. Don't miss a new Hawaii 5-0. That's tomorrow, only CBS. Goes over to talk to Pat Shurmur.
Yeah, it's not a bad time to take a timeout. Although you've already taken one in this half, you got to do something here. 3rd and 10, you just don't want the worst to happen. The worst thing you can do is go off when you're not 100% committed to the play. and you're a little bit confused. You don't want to make a mistake this deep in your own territory. Get a play, get everybody on the same page, and execute it.
3rd and 10. They come on the blitz, Whedon. And that is caught by Greg Little, who did a nice job going down to get the football.
Well, it was
and that will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll return to Oakland after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 47. Ready to start the final period. This has been a good one here in Oakland. The Browns able to convert a big 3rd down, their 2nd 3rd down conversion of the game. 1st and 10 from their own 22-yard line. Hardesty. Out to the 26. Now the Raiders have been fired up.
It all started with this deflected field goal from Dawson that broke the streak of 30 in a row. Then they got the batted pass deep in the end. Got a hit on Whedon. There's another batted pass that led to that 3rd down that the Browns actually converted to extend this drive and keep themselves alive. This game just got a lot more difficult for Brandon Whedon, this Brown offense.
2nd and 6. Hardesty stays in the game. Toss it to him, right side. Finds some running room, and Hardesty's out to the 40. Miles Burris made the stop.
Just when you think the Raiders are going to get a handle on it, they let a big run to the outside. The 2 wide receivers settle the defense, the end of the line of scrimmage. You see there is Gordon and Little both block the linebacker and give that back Hardesty a chance to turn it up into that gap.
13 yards on the run. They spotted at the 39-yard line. Fresh legs, and Hardesty stays in the game. They give it to him over left tackle. Out to the 42. Pick up a 3 for Montario Hardesty.
It's interesting. The Browns bring in Hardesty, a fresh set of legs. They've given the ball to Trent Richardson a lot. And I think giving him a series to stand over there and rest and catch his breath is going to pay dividends late in this quarter. There's no question. I think when this game's on the line, he's going to be the guy in there. But you got to make sure he's as good as he can be.
2nd and 7. Play action. Whedon, thrust in the pocket, is being pulled down. That was almost intercepted by Omar Gaither.
Now, they called it a sack. His knee was down before he released this pass. He did kind of throw it up for grabs. Not a real good decision, but he's not going to pay any kind of price for it because it was a sack.
Lamar Houston able to get in there and drag him down.
You see his right knee goes to the ground before he can release this football right there, and then he throws the football. That's a desperate attempt that a young quarterback will do. Just take the sack. Do not let the worst happen.
They have to get it almost to midfield for a 1st down. 3rd and 18. Middle of the field, that's going to be about 5 yards short. Caught by Watson, the tight end.
Yeah, that's not bad for the Cleveland Browns, though. They didn't pick up the 1st down. You really can't think they're going to do that on the 3rd and extremely long. But they did get the football in field position to midfield as Whedon drops back, protected very well. This time, the Raiders do not bring pressure and go man-to-man like they did on that other 3rd down. Whedon completes it, but not enough. Now, the Browns have to use their special teams to pin the Raiders back.
Phillip Adams is out. So Denarius Moore ready to field this one. And hit. And that will draw a flag. Buster screen. And the play whistle dead.
Keenan Clayton picking that ball up. And this is fair catch, and Buster Screen just wasn't watching what was going on.
So they'll move this forward.
Personal foul, fair catch interference, number 22 of the defense. Kicking team, excuse me. 15-yard penalty. First down, Oakland. Timeout.
Penalty on the Browns. Improved field position for the Raiders. Close one here in Oakland. 11:47 left in the fourth. Raiders trail by 3, take over 1st and 10 from their own 27. Palmer from the shotgun. Looks to the sideline, and it skips off the ground, intended for Kreiner.
Well, Kreiner lost his footing over there on the soggy sideline. Watch as he tries to come out of this break. He's just going to lose it. Palmer, this is all timing. And he lets that go as they practice it, just like in the same spot he does, and you can't plan on a guy slipping.
2nd and 10. Got to set up the screen to Reese. Reese gets free and out of bounds. It's like enough for the first down.
Once again, Marcel Reese back in the game. Does everything so well. Crosses in front of Palmer. They run the screen pass to the other side of the formation, and where Reese was lined up, that means the guy who's covering him has to cross the formation as well. And it's hard to get through all that traffic to break up a screen pass in man-to-man coverage.
11 yards on the play. 1st and 10 Raiders. Palmer lofts it. That's caught by Streeter. Into Cleveland territory.
Oh, what a great route by Streeter. He comes out of the slot, straight up the field. Great play action as the back goes the opposite way. Watch Streeter work against Buster Skrine, swims underneath. You're not going to get an offensive pass interference call on the swim at the top of the route. But Streeter does a nice job swimming back to the other side of screen to get the reception.
19 yards on the play. They run the slant to Hagan, and he makes the catch at the 36. Derek Hagan in his 7th year out of Arizona State.
It's interesting that Raiders having some pretty good production here with Kreiner, Streeter, and Hagan on the field as wide receivers.
Palmer 22 of 35 for 253 yards and a touchdown.
The top 2 receivers, Hayward Bay and Moore, who have dropped some passes and not had very productive days, all of a sudden they're sitting on the bench.
Browns coming the blitz. Palmer incomplete. That time Kreiner couldn't bring it in. Covered by Sheldon Brown.
Yeah, this is a tough route to complete because the ball is so deep, and Palmer, with some people in his face, I think releases this a little too early, a little before he wanted to. As you can see, Kreiner has barely enough time to get his head around and get his arms up, let alone cradle that in.
Raiders facing a 3rd and 4. So Reese comes over for extra protection and slips out of the backfield. That's caught by Myers, but it's going to be short of the first down.
Well, they're going to mark him past the line, it looks like. On that 3rd and 4, they're going to give him 3rd and 4.1.
Wow. Now they're going to bring out the sticks to measure. It looked like at first he was going to be just short.
Well, there's no question he was pushed backwards on his forward progress, but they marked him what I think is going to be enough for the first down past the stick. Good protection by Palmer, for Palmer. He goes down well behind the line, but he started out and he caught the ball up well over the 35-yard line. Now you can challenge this as if you're Pat Shurmur, but there has to be conclusive evidence. And of course the only way you can win is if the ball is short of the line. If they say, okay, we're going to move it back 3 inches, you still don't win the challenge.
This is the angle where you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, I think they gave him. I think they gave him some
generous
extra
spot.
It was generous, but I don't think you're going to be able to get enough on that to reverse it, and I don't think you want to waste a challenge on that.
So there will be no challenge. First down for the Raiders. Palmer going deep. Intercepted. Sheldon Brown had perfect coverage.
Trying to find Kreiner once again on the outside. Okay, Sheldon Brown once again looking at Palmer, not at his man. Plays the quarterback and makes the play.
Sheldon Brown with the interception, and the Cleveland Browns take over 1st and 10 from their own 6-yard line. 13-10 Browns. Whedon from the goal line. And that is caught by Jordan Cameron.
You look at the day Sheldon Brown has had. It started out early and is not let up. You see here working against Moore. Swats that back pass away. Comes up, makes the big tackle short of the first down on the 3rd and 3. Breaks on the pass to Moore. And then, of course, this interception. One reason you call him his name, they're not throwing to Joe Hayden. The other cornerback is doing his part as well. These guys are doing it. Sheldon Brown's getting a lot of action, and he's up to the task.
2nd and 3, Whedon. And that was almost picked off.
Well, Whedon had to get rid of that quickly. He ended up on his back as soon as he threw that. The pressure was right on him. Coming right up the middle, as you'll see.
Brandon Ross had a beat on it.
Yeah. And that's why the throw.
Lamar Houston again, he's been disruptive today. He's had a terrific game at defensive end. Under 9 minutes remaining in regulation, 3rd and 3, facing Cleveland. Whedon. Gordon all alone. And a 1st down for the Browns.
I'll tell you what, Brandon Whedon is standing in the pocket and taking a lot of big shots. But this is the kind of throw, we said it earlier, this is the kind of throw he expects himself to be 100% on. Going to come right out, come right down here, and there's going to be nobody home as the defense rushes the passer, and everybody's in man coverage, and they leave him all by himself.
11 yards on the catch. Gordon 6 receptions, 116 yards, and the big touchdown. Hardesty leaps his way back to the line of scrimmage. Gaither made the stop, and again, let's check in with JB for an update in New York.
All right, Bill. Hey, you remember this? It was hey diddle. Ray Rice up the middle, up. He decides to bounce it outside. He takes it 34 yards to pay dirt. Baltimore goes on top of Pittsburgh 20-13. 9:18 left in regulation. Back to Bill MACATEE. Steve Tasker.
James, thank you. The Ravens are a perfect 5-0 at home this season and riding a 4-game winning streak against the Steelers, who are reeling. Whedon, lots of time. That's caught by Watson, a big play and out of bounds.
Yeah, and these throws that Whedon is making now, the one just a moment ago on 3rd down, and this one to Watson, somebody is absolutely blowing an assignment. Right here is Watson, nobody covers him. You see there, Andre Carter drops back, but he's trying to drop back into the throwing area right here. He's going to drop back. There's just nobody there. Nobody picks Watson up. He's completely uncovered. And that is a blown coverage.
22 yards on the play. They keep it on the ground to Richardson. Push back. Miles Burris made the stop, and again the Raiders starting Omar Gaither at middle linebacker. Rolando McClain suspended for 2 games this week. Seems unlikely that he will be back to play for the Raiders going forward.
And of course we see Trent Richardson, the workhorse, back in the backfield for the Browns after giving Hardesty a shot and giving him a series off. He's back in to finish this game in the second half of the 4th quarter.
2nd and 8, bunch formation to the right. And that's caught. Again, it's Watson. Down to the 44.
Talk about the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. Brandon Whedon had a concussion last week. I'll tell you what, it has not been an easy day at the office, but he stood in there, delivered the football, and he's got his chance, a team a chance on the road to get a victory. That's a lot of knockdowns.
And Tyvon Branch was slow to get up, tried to make his way off the field, and now still, as you can see, struggling. Meanwhile, they're going to measure for the first down, and that's going to be a few inches short. Tyvon Branch, who has been a mainstay, one of the bright spots for the Raiders,
comes in and puts his right shoulder in on the tackle, and right there.
Benjamin Watson's a big guy, and Branch got the short end of that collision. 3rd and inches for Cleveland. Inside of 6 minutes remaining in regulation. Quarterback sneak. Looks like he's got it. We'll see where they spot it.
And that looks like not a good spot. No, they're not going to give it. Oh, I thought he got it for sure. And we're kind of shaking our heads. I thought he got a good push and was well past the line to gain, and the officials did not give it to him. I watched here.
Sure looks like he's across from that angle.
Well, there he's not, but that's after he's been pushed back. And once again, there's so much traffic in there, it's impossible to get a good replay angle to show where exactly the ball ended up at its furthest point forward. And this is the kind of thing that this is why everybody kind of turns around and looks at the head coach. They're going to take a timeout, and they got to decide whether they want to go for it or punt it away.
4:57 left to go in the 4th. No challenge on the spot from Pat Shurmur, so the Browns are going to go for it on 4th and inches. Quarterback sneak again. And that time, there was no question.
That was enormous. That was enormous. Now Dennis Allen takes his timeout to stop that clock. Quick count. Don't let the Raiders get their feet set. Just get the push.
First and 10 for the Cleveland Browns. First and 10 for Cleveland after a big first down. 4:44 left to go in regulation. Whedon. And that's caught by Cameron. Jordan Cameron. A big missed tackle by the Raiders.
Well, they said he was out of bounds. Cameron did a nice job of trying to stay in, but they marked him out of bounds. Great broken tackle here as he comes out, working right there against Burris. Shakes the tackle, goes up the sideline. Got to stay in bounds. He tries to, and I don't know that he didn't. But they did stop the clock at his 1st and 10. The Browns will take the play, believe me.
Jordan Cameron caught a touchdown pass last week against the Steelers. Former college basketball player, converted to football at USC, and that's a first down for Cleveland. Richardson battled for some tough yards today. Lamar Houston made the stop.
Tough yards, but he gets every yard coming to him. It's really, the guy's amazing the way he keeps his balance without losing any speed. Great laterally in the hole, makes guys miss, cuts very quickly, and always seems to get every yard coming to him. And that's saying a lot for a guy who runs the ball as often as he does.
12th play of the drive upcoming. This drive that started back at the Cleveland 6 after the interception by Sheldon Brown. 2nd and 9. Richardson able to get away and continues to fight down to the 10. A gain of 8. Tonight there's only one man. Timeout on the field by the Raiders. So tonight there's only one man who ever escaped from a prison considered the worst in the world, and he tells his story to 60 Minutes. That's tonight. Only CBS.
That last run by the Browns, Richardson got up there, got stopped, and then the team rallied and they got kind of a scrum going, and they just kept moving the pile. Finally, the Raiders push them over after an extra 5 yards. It looked like a 3-yard gain. Trent Richardson, like we said all along, great balance there. Bounces off the contact, gets good leverage, and then just keeps his feet. And you see all the orange helmets rally and push the weight of that pile forward. And the Raiders end up on the bottom, and the Browns end up on top.
So they spotted at the 10-yard line. 3rd and 1. Offset eye. Richardson, the deep back. Flag, and they'll whistle this dead.
It looked like movement on the Raiders' defensive line right over the football. And that is a 3rd down conversion.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense came into the neutral zone, causing offensive man to false start. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
And that's huge. 3rd and short, and when you've got to get the football back, and as good as Desmond Bryant has played today right there, he squeaks over the ball, and that stops the play and gives the Browns a 1st down.
And 1st and goal.
You've got to do it all the time if you want to win in the National Football League, and the Raiders just have not done it consistently enough.
1st and goal from the 5. Richardson. Jump step down to the 3.
Yeah, there's no question, and like we said before, when the Browns got down here close, the run game is a huge part of what's successful down here. Not only do you run it, but you force the Raiders, at least in this situation, to start using their timeouts every play.
And the Raiders take their last timeout. Clock stops with 3:31 left to go in the 4th. Tomorrow, to succeed in business, the girls will need some special help, especially when they have uninvited guests. New Two Broke Girls tomorrow, only CBS. Second and goal for Cleveland.
And this is where the Browns are in the driver's seat. They've got their number 1 pick, Trent Richardson, and another 1st-round draft pick in Whedon. Both those guys, you can bet, are going to have something to say about what happens at the end of this drive, whether it's good or bad. Richardson, I say that's the guy you give it to. If he doesn't make it, the clock still runs and you get another shot at it.
19 carries, 69 yards for Trent Richardson. Gets it again up the middle and touchdown. 7th rushing touchdown of the season for the rookie out of Alabama.
And that was impressive when the Browns got down there close. The Raiders do the unthinkable on a 3rd and short, jump off sides to give them a 1st down. 2 plays later, here you see Trent Richardson on the little cutback. Just cuts inside Shaughnessy, who is held by the reverse, the fake reverse, and he gets into the end zone.
Dawson with the extra point.
Nice power drive by the Browns to kill the clock, move the football, get 1st downs, and score the touchdown. A 4th and short they convert. A 3rd and short on a penalty. They held their water. Then the misdirection holds the defense. Trent Richardson pounds the football in.
And they march it just about the length of the field, starting at their own 6-yard line. 14 plays, 94 yards.
You can win on the road when you do that. That's an exclamation point on a long drought on the road for the Browns.
Browns have 4 games remaining after today. They have officially closed the chapter on the Mike Holmgren era this week. Mike leaving the Browns offices in Brea. Now new owner Jimmy Haslam and Joe Banner will determine the futures for Tom Heckert and Pat Shurmur. Banner with the Eagles since 1995. And they have said that everything is up for review going forward. The one thing you know immediately in being around Jimmy Haslam is that he's a passionate guy, and he wants more than anything to bring a championship to Cleveland. And it looks like they're going to come away with a win today here in Oakland. Francis. And if they can hang on, this will end the streak of losses on the road for the Cleveland Browns. Last win is week 2 of last season at Indianapolis. They were led by Evan Moore and Peyton Hillis, who had 2 rushing touchdowns. Cleveland won 27-19. They lost their next road game here in Oakland, week after the passing of owner Al Davis, and that started the current streak of 12 straight road defeats. 3:21 left to go in regulation. Palmer, middle of the field to Myers. Gets it out to the 25. Dequel Jackson made the stop.
Brown perfectly happy to give the Raiders short, in the middle of the field throws. They're in a complete umbrella with their defensive backs. 2 deep safeties. The corners are playing outside leverage. They want to keep everything to the middle of the football field so the clock will continue to run and try and pressure Palmer with 4 guys.
Griner.
Number 84, Jerron
Bended
Griner.
across the 30. Joe Hayden and Buster Screen combined to make the stop, a gain of 7.
No timeouts. And of course in the hurry-up mode completely for the Raiders.
32. Under 2.5 minutes remaining in regulation. Again, it's Myers. That's his 10th catch of the game.
Brandon Myers.
Brandon Myers in his 4th year out of Iowa. Raiders up in a hurry after a gain of 11.
Now the Browns are thinking about trying to roll their defensive linemen through. They've had a really good rotation. One of the reasons they get pressure is because they can bring fresh legs off the bench. They may try to do it even though it's in a hurry-up offense.
Myers into Cleveland territory, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Browns lead it 20-10 here in Oakland. 1:57 left to go in regulation. 2nd and 2 for the Raiders, who are out of timeouts. From midfield, down by 10. Reese trying to make his way out of bounds. And actually will lose a yard.
Yeah, they'll give him, he ran out of bounds, but he was going backwards when he did, so they give him forward progress, and the clock continues to run. And that's the right rule to call for the officials. Even though he got out of bounds, he was going backwards, so his forward progress was inbounds, and the clock runs.
3rd and 4. Palmer. Myers. He's had a huge day. Palmer will spike it. Clock stops with 1:16 left in the 4th.
So the Raiders right here with 1:16 left, they're thinking touchdown, onside kick. And that means they've got to take a shot and then come down and at least get in field goal range. Now they've got to take a shot to the end zone sooner or later. You don't want to wait till the last play. And when you're out of the 35, 37-yard line, it gives you enough room to get some space where you can get the ball down there and go for the touchdown or take the shot right here.
Timeouts left for the Raiders. Palmer, incomplete, stops the clock. Intended for Kreiner.
And as you see, it just happened. Denver clinched their playoff spot with the win today. And that's starting to turn to hard concrete right there, those top 4 names.
There will be some battle for wild card spots in the postseason. Palmer, caught by Rod Streeter, dropped immediately at about the 23-24-yard line.
Denver winning the AFC West today.
18 yards on the completion. And again, Palmer spikes the ball, stopping the clock with 57 seconds left to play. 2nd and 11. Spent some time talking with Reggie McKenzie, the Raiders GM, on Friday. Reggie brought in as the Raiders GM after the passing of Al Davis. He was originally drafted by Mr. Davis as a linebacker out of Tennessee back in '85. Spent 4 years playing here in Oakland before moving on to the Cardinals. 18 years in the personnel department of the Green Bay Packers. Now trying to rebuild this franchise here in Oakland. That is caught by Reese. And Reese takes it down inside the 10. And we have a marker down. We'll check the penalty.
Illegal formation. Number 80 is covering number 83 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Replay second down.
And that is the kind of day it's been for the Raiders. Penalties have hurt them. That's 8 penalties for 60 yards, and that will march them all the way back. So instead of being inside the 10, they spotted at the 29.
Well, Carson Palmer, I mean, you're going to spread it out and throw it again. We'll see what play that happens, but you can bet that it'll be over the middle of the football field, down close. The Raiders desperately hoping one of their receivers can break a tackle and get into the end zone.
Palmer. Again to Myers. To the 15. 14-yard gain. Clock continues to run. Spikes it. 32 seconds left in regulation.
Yeah, you could take the field goal here. You could throw Janikowski out there. You've got a field goal. You got to get a field goal anyway to tie it. So if you want the points, you can get the for sure field goal here and then put all the onus on the onside kick of getting it. That's true desperation. But there's a 4th and 1. You know you're not really discouraged about getting or worried about getting a first down. That Carson Palmer could fall forward and get it. They're not going to bring that, but they're going to go for the first down. They're not going to bring Janikowski out here.
4th and 1. Palmer. That was a nice catch by Kleiner. And his forward progress will get him the first down. They'll move the chains, but the clock continues to run. 20 seconds left. Palmer. Almost intercepted by Joe Hayden. Incomplete. 6 seconds left.
They haven't thrown at Joe Hayden all day, and finally in the last 10 seconds of the game, they try and go at him, and he almost picks it off. We haven't called Joe Hayden's name at all, maybe perhaps once on a tackle. They haven't thrown at his guy at all today, and here, that's the reason why.
So 6 seconds remaining. (20 to 10) Cleveland. Whistle before the snap.
Delay. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And that'll move them back.
This gives them more space. They've got to throw it to the end zone. They've got to score on this play or this game, though. It doesn't really matter. They're not going to get an onside kick, but they're going to keep playing hard. And it's been that kind of day during that kind of year for the Raiders.
Palmer to the goal line. Myers. Brandon Myers with the touchdown. And the clock shows 1 second left. 17 yards.
Well, the Raiders will keep a little self-respect, battling till the bitter end. The problem is for the Raiders this season, the end of these games have all been just bitter because they haven't been able to make enough plays during regulation to give themselves a chance to win. And that's not even a moral victory on a day like today.
Janikowski try the extra point. And he's got it. And Myers 14 catches for 130 yards and the touchdown.
Well, despite this last drive, this game has been an outstanding defensive effort by the Cleveland Browns. They do get the touchdown right here with 1 second left on the clock, but this Browns defense has been solid all day. Great plays in the back end of the secondary, good pressure up front. The run defense was outstanding. Taylor and Rubin, the big tackles down inside, doing a fantastic job. Just a very solid effort for the first road win for this Browns team this season.
Well, it's not going to be enough to recover the onside
Yeah, you can't
kick.
recover the onside kick and kick a field with 1 second, because as soon as the ball's touched, the clock will tick off. I mean, it's over. This is, for me, if you want to talk about player safety, this is a place where nothing good can happen.
Squibs it out of bounds. That will draw the flags.
If it didn't touch anybody, that's why the flags are there. I thought it might have touched one of the players on the way through, but it doesn't look like it did. We'll see. Right there, it might have. Nope.
Free kick out of bounds. Ball will be spotted where it went out of bounds. There's 1 second left.
Yeah, and that's an onside strategy that you don't see very much, where the kicker will kick a line drive trying to bang it into somebody so that it's too hot to handle, and then you get the funny bounce where you can recover it. Plus, you don't have to wait for the 10-yard rule. But the problem is, it's got to hit somebody.
So the Browns will take a knee, and they have now won 4 of their last 7 games. So the final score, 2017 Cleveland. For Steve Tasker, Bill McAtee saying so long from Oakland. And now let's go to James Brown in New York.